Hello wonderful people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Welcome back to another tutorial. If today is your first time of stopping by, you are on the right channel. It's me, IG, and I'm back with a new tutorial. On today's tutorial, we are going to DIY this bat wing top. It's so easy to achieve, so simple. Do you see how it is? What you need is just your material and your elastic. That is what you need. And also few measurements, you are good to go. My returning subscribers, you guys are amazing. You guys are very supportive. Thanks for all your support. So guys, like I'm saying, what you need is the length of your top. The length I used is 26 inches. Do you see it? And the band that I use, the length of the band is 2 inches and quarter. It is good to use a band that is a little bit long. Do you understand? So that is it. So another measurement you need is from the center of your back to where you want it to be on your sleeve. Can you see mine? Mine is so long. Do you see it? I made use of the whole material that I have. You can determine to make it short, but it's better to make it long. So you need the measurement of your center back to that of your sleeve, and also your neck opening. Do you want it to be a round neck or a V-neck? It's your choice. Do you see? Mine is a V-neck. That is the only measurement that you need. So guys, without wasting much of your time, let us get started. So now I'm going to fold my material in two. Do you see it? That's the material I'm using. So I'm going to fold it in two. Do you see how I folded it? I folded it in this form. I fold it in two. Do you see it? Then I'm going to cross it in this form. Do you see it, guys? So now I folded it in four. Do you see it? So now I folded it in four. So I'm going to place it on my table to take my measurements. I'm going to make full use of the length as my sleeve, and also I'm going to make the full use of the length as the length of the material we are working with. Do you see it? So the full length of the material we are working with is 26 inches. Do you see it? On this side is 24. So I'm going to make use of it, and on this side is 26. So now what we need is just few measurements. Just on this side, remember it's not going to have a shoulder. So guys, it's not going to have a shoulder slope on this side. We are not going to cut it open. So what we need is only the measurement of our neckline. So I'm going to use 3 inches. Do you see? Remember, in this form that we now folded it, we are folding the front and the back together. So now we are going to take measurement of our neckline. So here I'm taking the width is 3 inches, and the depth of the back I'm going to use 1.5 inches, and on the front I'm going to use 7 inches. It's going to be a V neckline. So from this 3 inches, I'm going to connect down. I don't know if you guys are seeing my, let me change my marker. So now guys, let's take our measurement back. I've changed my marker. 3 inches. Here is my 3 inches. And on the back, I'm going to use 1.5. So we are going to connect it 1.5 inches. That is the back. We are connecting it first 1.5. And on the front, this is the front, I'm going to make use of 7 inches. So from this 3 inches, I'm going to connect it to 7 inches. This top is very, very easy to achieve. So now the next thing is to cut it out. So we are going to cut first the back. This is our back. So in cutting the front, you are going to open it up and shift the back side, because when you cut it here, you are going to also cut the back, except you want the back also to have the same shape as the front. but I want only the front to have V. So I'm going to open it carefully to take away the back panel. Do you see it? I open it carefully because of the 3 inches, so I know where the back ends. Do you see it now? So this is my 3 inches, so I've opened it, so I'm going to cut out the front now. So guys, I've cut out the front, so let's notch the front. And also this back, let's notch it. On the 2 sides of the back, we notch it. Do you see it? So guys, let me open it up for us to see. Do you see it? This is it. That's the neckline now. You can do as deep as 8 inches what you want. You can do as high as 5 inches, but I want mine to be 7 inches. So that is what I want. So the next thing to do now is just to take it to my machine. But before then, I'm going to cut out the rough edges at the down. If you don't have rough edges, you don't need to do that. So I'm going to fold it back. So I'm going to trim off these rough edges. That is what I'm going to do. Do you see it? These rough edges, I'm going to trim it out. I've cut out the rough edges. So the next thing to do now is to take it to the machine to close these edges. Do you see it? I'm going to fold it with 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch. I'm going to fold it. Then I'll also hem the neckline. If you have bias, you can use bias. If you don't have, you can take equally 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch to hem it. First, I'm going to use my zigzag machine to run it. Then after which, I'll just use 1/4 inch to now close it up. Then hem the sides. Then we'll come back to attach our elastic. Remember, elastic is the beauty of it. And this elastic, I measure out my waist. My waist is 34 inches. My waist is 34 inches, but what I have here is 33 inches because I don't want it to be too tight. I don't want the elastic to be too tight. That is why I now measured out 33 inches. I'm going to use 1/2 inch on both sides to sew it, to cover it. That is to close it up. 1/2 inch. So I'm going to be left with 32 inches, which is okay for me because I don't want it to be too strong or tight on me. So let me now hem it, then I'll be back. Now guys, I have now hemmed the neckline. Do you see it? And on the sleeve, I decided not to hem it, but to leave it in this form because it doesn't have rough edges. It is beautiful. So I decided to leave it and also to make it have more length like I want. So the next thing I did was just to close it by the sides. I just take from the down, that is from the length, I came up by 3 to 4 inches. I now close it so that it will enable me to insert my elastic. Do you see it? I close the 2 sides. So now the next thing I have to do is to gather the down parts to get to the size of my elastic. Do you see it? So I have to gather it now. I have to use my elastic to gather it. But because it is too wide that my elastic cannot gather all, do you see it? The elastic cannot gather all because it's too wide than the elastic. So I'm going to use my machine with the longest stitch. I'm going to run it. Then after running it, I'll now place my elastic on it. I'll show it to you guys. Then we will attach the elastic to it. Then we'll see the final. Now guys, I have used my gather stitch to gather the waist. Do you see it? I've gathered it. So this is the front side. I'm going to turn it to the back. Do you see it? And I used the sides to control the gathering to know if it is equal or not. That is the two sides that we close as the sleeve, the opening of the sleeve. So now I'll take my elastic, which I've also closed with 1/2 inch. Now I'll put it in this form, right side facing each other. So on this side that I closed, I'll use it to attach to this sleeve side that I close by the side. I attach it with my pin. I'll use my pin to attach it. Do you see it? And on this side, I'm going to also attach the other half, this other half, that is the half side of it, also attach it on this side of the sleeve. Do you see it? Attach it with my pin. Guys, do you see it now? So now I'll take it to the machine to sew it. I'll use the elastic. While sewing, I'll be expanding the elastic to get it. Do you see it? So I'm going to use it now to sew it. After sewing it, then we will see how it looks. Do you see how I attach the elastic from the two sides that we close? I attach the elastic there. So now I'm going to use it to control to sew it together. So after which I'll show to you guys the final. Guys, I've attached our band. Remember, it is good and advisable to use a band that is more than 2 inches. Mine is 2 inches and quarter. The band I'm using is 2 inches and quarter. Do you see it? It brings out the beauty more when you use a band that the inches is a bit higher. Do you see it? So I have now finished our bat wing top. Do you see it, guys? Do you see the neckline? So I'm going to put it on for us to see how it looks. So guys, do you see how it is? Don't forget to like, share and comment on my videos. And if you have not subscribed, consider subscribing. Subscription is free. Support me to grow this channel. See you in my next video. For now, bye.